Yo, came across an article, figured I'd share it. I found it quite interesting. So, as you can see, support for a program to pay reparations to descendants of slaves is gaining momentum, but could come with a $12 trillion price tag. You see, this was dated, August 12th. So about last month, this is what they was talking about. This the word on the street as far as reparations goes, right? Now let's just get into it. Old Abe, right? Emancipation Proclamation. That's what they want you to know, right? So let's get it. Reparations for slavery has been fiercely discussed in the United States since the Union Army General William Tuck Tuckmache Sherman promised 40 acres and a mule to 4 million freed slaves in 1865. Right? Now, first thing I want to note, I ain't even left the first sentence, is how long they've been just talking about it. How long did it take them to send billions to Ukraine? You feel me? Did they have to do a study? Is there any governmental backlash as far as taxes and debts and how that's gonna hurt the ceiling or anything, right? Stuff to consider, bro, right? But we're gonna read on. While Americans do generally support a reparations program paid by taxpayers, this summer's events have shifted the once overlooked topic into a national debate. Okay. 143 members of Congress have co-sponsored H.R. 40, the commission to study and develop reparation proposals for African American acts, compared with with only two in 2014. Now, from 1865 to 2014 to 2022, they still just talking though. Everybody around us has received reparations, bro. That's something we need to consider. Even the slave drivers got reparations when they kicked us off the plantations, right? But yet they're still considering what we need. And even though the promise of the 40 acres was not, or the mule was not met, we didn't even get a pair of tennis shoes when they kicked us off the spot, right? So let's go, bro. I've lost my spot, bro. And stuff it's kind of annoying to me, bro. But let's go. Even Joe Biden, the presumptive 2020 Democratic presidential nominee, has said he supports the study representing a change on the issue. A study though, like what's words, bro? What are you trying to study? What don't you already know? What can't you already see, bro? You feel me? Like, what is going on here? So right now it seems like a pacifier, man. They not really trying to give us nothing, but they know what we saying, and so it's like we're gonna talk about it just before midterms and primaries and all that to keep them in the boat. So then you're gonna get your stepping fetchers coming out. You gotta vote. If you don't vote, you can't change nothing. And voting ain't changed nothing. We've gotten worse since slavery. We had more morals and a code between each other fresh off the plantation. Now I don't know if my brother feel like talking to me or not. I don't even speak a lot. You feel me? That's where we at today. We had more respect for ourselves. We dress different. We act different. Now we're just grotesque people, bro. We don't even know who we are, and we don't even want it, cause we done learned the ways of the heathen, and now we stuck in this cyclical cycle of doom, and we think that's the way to be. We blame the Most High because we doing the wrong things. It's crazy. I'm gonna try not to rant, bro. I want y'all to get this article, man. William Darity, professor of public policy at Duke University, has studied the uh, rationale, I don't know, whatever that is, and design of reparations for more than 30 years. He says, the present moment seems to afford more of an opportunity to move forward than any moment I've experienced in my lifetime. Okay. This spring, well, the cost, right? The cost now, they talking about cost. They done spent billions and trillions overseas, but let's look at the cost. This spring, Darity and his wife, Kristen Mullen, made the most comprehensive case for reparations program in their latest book, From Here to Equality: Reparations for Black Americans in the 21st Century. They argued a meaningful program to be eliminated, a meaningful program to be eliminated to eliminate the existing black-white wealth gap requires an allocation of between 10 trillion and 12 trillion, or about 800,000 to each eligible black household. But not everyone agrees that now is the time to pay reparations. And here we go. First of all, that ain't enough, right? But we wouldn't necessarily not take that either. You give me that'll help some people, right? But look, let's go. Our national debt is already now up to 26 to 27 trillion, and this talk annoys me because of what I've been, you know, going back to again and again. And we've seen them ship billions and buckets of money over to people that don't pay taxes, that have given nothing to this land, and ain't gonna give nothing to this land, right? But when it comes to the people that you've done wrong, all you can do is study and talk, and then, oh well, man, it's kind of a bad time for me. And it's crazy the logic, because if I owed my light bill, can I call the light company and say, well, man, I had to eat, bro. Ah, I'm talking to my wife about it. We really do want to pay that, bro. But that don't fly, right? But let's go. 26, 27 trillion given the money we're spending on COVID, right? Says Michael Tanner, senior fellow at the Cato Institute. And we're losing more money because we're not picking up the revenue, because economic growth is slow right now. So now they're blaming us. That in a way they're saying, well, since nobody working, we can't make no money, so we can't spend no money, right? So again, they trying to put it back on the little man, basically. It's kind of crazy. This hardly seems the time to burden the economy with more debt, more taxes. Essentially, what you want to do is stimulate economic growth for all our benefits, right? It's not a good time to let the Negroes win. You know what I'm saying? Right now, bro, that'll, you feel me? That's how I'm looking at it. That's how I see it. You feel me? And at the end of the day, there's no reason why I shouldn't see it that way. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, bro. Like, how is it that, again, y'all talking about this stuff when it comes to us and your wrongs, but yet there's no congressional fight, no bipartisan disagreements, none of that going on when it comes to Ukraine and shipping this money off. And then, as the story unfolds, you're a liar. They're not winning. You feel me? And then you got all this underhanded stuff you doing behind the scenes. Come on, man. Like, at some point, I'm not even looking for reparations, man. If they can't give us enough. You feel me? But we need to see these things for what it is and act accordingly. That's where I'm at. Like, you can't say these people are your friend and they're not even acting friendly. But let's go. Baby bonds, proposals on cost. Eligibility and the form in which payments are allocated vary greatly depending on the study and author. Derek Hamilton, a professor of public policy at Ohio State University, often speaks about baby bonds, a form of trust accounts for all newly born children, as a powerful tool to complement reparations. This product, similar to children's savings accounts, have been found to be especially impactful for low and moderate income children, as it can foster a college bound identity, and to help pay for higher education, a home, or starting a business. According to one study, it can decrease the black-white wealth disparity by more than 10 times. It is also much cheaper than reparations. Every year, about 4 million children are born. If every account was seeded by about 25,000, the program could cost the government about 100 billion. 100 billion is about 2% of the federal expenditures now. It is much less than we spend with our tax policies on subsidizing the assets of the wealthy, says Hamilton. We spend about 500 billion on reductions in capital gains and mortgage interest reductions. So, if one were to think about the cost of baby bonds, the scale of other asset expenditures, it pales in comparison, right? All right. Local efforts. Local efforts to fund reparations have started to develop. Recently, in the city council of mostly white Asheville, North Carolina, voted to apologize for slavery and offer funding to help black homeowners and businesses. Evanston, Illinois made a similar move in 2009 using tax proceeds from recreational cannabis sales to fund the program. Glenn Laurie, professor of economics at Brown University, is an outspoken opponent of reparations for black Americans. He says that the real issue here are differences between the populations and the capacity to generate wealth. If you redistribute it, you may have a short-term impact, but in the long run, unless the difference is in the population, in these populations, in their capacity to generate wealth, to start a business, to effectively take risks, to save and accumulate within their families, the underlying structure will push you back into a situation of inequality again. But yeah, they still just talking. Public opinion. While Americans are still far from supporting a reparation program, there's been a modest shift in public opinion. In 2000, only 4% of whites supported monetary compensation to descendants of enslaved people, according to the results of a survey of public opinion published in the Journal Du Bois Review this year. According to the Reuters poll, 1 in 10 whites support such a program. The U.S. is still far from a concrete compensation plan, but the recent events following George Floyd's death and the coronavirus pandemic, which has disproportionately affected black Americans, might change the conversation. So that's where they at, bro. Shalom.